Police officers, what's the most memorable situation you've ever dealt with? His name was Brent. Mid-30s, worked nights at some warehouse, lived alone in this old apartment complex on the east side. He kept calling about someone following him home, someone watching his windows, someone breaking in while he slept. Every single time, we'd show up and find nothing. No signs of forced entry, no footprints, no suspicious people hanging around. My partner Mike started calling him Paranoid Brent. The whole department knew his name. 6 calls in 3 months. Always the same story. Always nothing there. But then I got his 7th call, and something was different. Brent was crying, actually sobbing into the phone. He'd never done that before. He kept saying they were inside his walls this time, that he could hear them breathing. Mike wanted to ignore it, said Brent needed a therapist, not a cop, but I couldn't shake the feeling in my gut. Something wasn't right. We drove over. Brent answered the door looking like he'd aged 10 years overnight. His hands were shaking so bad he could barely hold the door open. Sweat was dripping down his face even though it was freezing outside. "They were here again," he whispered. I heard voices. Right outside my bedroom window. They know I'm alone. Mike was already scanning the parking lot, clearly ready to leave, but I asked Brent if I could look around his apartment. He nodded fast, desperate for someone to believe him. The place was clean. Almost too clean. Nothing out of place. But as I walked through, something felt wrong. Like that feeling when someone's watching you but you can't see them. I opened his hall closet. Just towels and cleaning supplies. Then I noticed the floor. There were cigarette butts pushed into the corner. 3 of them. "Brent, do you smoke?" He shook his head. "Never have." That's when I looked up. There were 2 air vents in the wall above the closet. One looked normal. The other one had fresh screws, shinier than the rest, like someone had taken it off recently. I called Mike over. We pulled a chair into the closet and unscrewed the vent. Cold air hit my face, but it wasn't just air. There was a smell, like old food and body odor. Behind the vent was a crawl space, and it went deep. We grabbed our flashlights and climbed in. The space ran between all the apartments in the building, pipes and wires everywhere. And then we saw it. A pile of blankets in the corner, empty water bottles, granola bar wrappers, a phone charger plugged into an exposed outlet, and a baby monitor. Someone had been living in the walls. Mike's face went white. I radioed for backup immediately. We checked the whole crawl space. Whoever was there had left in a hurry, but they'd been watching. There were small holes drilled into the drywall that lined up perfectly with Brent's bedroom and bathroom. We pulled building security footage. Took us 2 hours, but we finally found it. A man climbing onto the roof at 2 in the morning using an old maintenance ladder behind the dumpsters. He'd been coming and going for weeks. Building manager identified him from the video. His name was Eugene. He used to live in the same building 2 years ago, but got evicted for not paying rent. No one knew he'd been coming back. We caught him 3 days later trying to climb back in. He had a backpack full of food and another baby monitor. When we searched his car, we found notebooks. Pages and pages about Brent's schedule. What time he left for work. What time he came home. What he watched on TV. Eugene said he wasn't going to hurt anyone. Said he just needed a place to stay, and Brent seemed like someone who wouldn't notice. But the baby monitor told a different story. He was listening, watching, waiting. Brent pressed charges. Eugene got 2 years for stalking and trespassing. I testified in court. Brent cried again, but this time it was relief. He moved out a week after the trial ended. Said he couldn't sleep there anymore.